The children of Sean Diddy Combs are speaking out for the first time since their father's arrest last week.
In the struggle together, son. You know what I'm saying?
I called like Jay-Z Theo or something. Is he like your uncle kind of low-key?
Yeah, that's my uncle right there.
You got some powerful uncles.
His son, Christian, aka King Combs, is now being sued, just like his father is. A woman filed a lawsuit against King, alleging that in late 2022, right before New Year's Eve, King assaulted her on a yacht.
Just watching it and just knowing that it's all coming to an end, 20 years and hit, it's just crazy.
No, I said it wasn't funny. I just like, that was traumatic.
You won't believe what's happening in Diddy's family. His own son is speaking out, saying he feels like his dad treats him more like property than a person. Imagine growing up with all that wealth and fame, but feeling trapped. Rumor has it there's a lot more going on behind the scenes. We're about to dive into how Diddy's empire might be putting too much pressure on his own son. It's starting to feel like a daddy dearest situation, but with a twist that'll make you rethink everything you know about the hip-hop icon.
Well, first, I want to say to this young man, before somebody take his head off, because see, that's that new school bull crap that these kids out here, they easy to fly off their mouth with that. You don't invite a man to your private. You don't invite a man to your private unless you doing the Diddy. If two men lay down, how many homos get up? Let me tell you, young man, 2 of them. You understand? So don't invite a man to your private, because that man will see you and take your head off. Especially somebody like 50. You don't send or let a boy do a man's job. I don't know if he need that type of attention or he want that type of attention. Evidently he do.
Ever wondered what it's like to have everything, but feel like you have nothing? That's the situation with Diddy's son right now. Picture this. You're living in a mansion bigger than most neighborhoods. Your closet is filled with designer clothes, and your bank account is massive. Sounds like a dream, right? But hold up. On the outside, it's all private jets and red carpets. Diddy's built an empire that touches everything from music to vodka, and his kids are right there with him in the spotlight. But as the saying goes, not all that glitters is gold. Word on the street is that things aren't as perfect in the Combs family as they seem. Behind the luxury, there's talk of feeling trapped in what's starting to feel like a prison. It's like those golden handcuffs are getting tighter. You've heard of golden handcuffs, right? It's when you're so tied to the glamorous life that you can't escape, even if you want to. And let me tell you, in celebrity families, it's no joke. It's like being stuck in a diamond-studded straitjacket.
So alleged audio, number 1, defendant, Christian Combs. Yo, it's shot o'clock. Plaintiff, Grace, no, I'm not doing shots, Christian. Defendant, Christian Combs. Everybody, we got to take a shot. Audio 2. Plaintiff, I'll just put the ledge. That's Grace. Defendant, Christian, no. Take the whole thing. Plaintiff, no, you will take it as well. Christian, take the whole shot. Plaintiff, I'm only doing it as long as you take it as well. Christian, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not taking nothing. Please take the shot. You are drugging me? Plaintiff says. Christian, take the shot. Hey, yo, play another beat. One time, because now it's interesting. Why not give the whole audio? It bugs me, but still enough in here is strange. But I don't know why it's cut. But apparently then cuts, and then we hear Cassie's Me and You featuring P. Diddy and Young Jock playing in the background as then this SA happens on the plaintiff. Cassie, this is not an offer. Christian, you said what? Plaintiff, I can't. I'm swapping out. I can't do it. I'm sorry, darling. Christian, no, we need you. Plaintiff, I'm going to stop. I have to go. Honestly, I'm like already losing sleep. I have to go now. Now, it's important just to remind everybody, she's been doing the 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift. This is at the end of her shift. She is there to take care of her A-list clients on this yacht. That's what the job is. The bosses, everybody need to apply, make sure that these A-list clients are doing well. Her client is Sean Combs and now Sean Combs' son. And she's being pressured into this to stay, to drink, to do all this stuff. She's trying to get out of the room. You're the best one on this ship, though, Christian says. What do you mean? She responds. Christian, who's going to replace you? Who's going to replace me? Defendant Christian, F that. That's going to be trash, though. You feel me? Plaintiff, excuse me, you don't touch my legs like that. I'll move my legs where I want to. Plaintiff, if I want to do this, then I will. You don't touch, then I will. You don't touch my legs like that, says Grace. Christian, listen, you and everybody in the crew, it's great. Plaintiff, Grace, I can't. I have to go down. I have to go down. Christian, no. Yo, tell me, listen. Grace, what? Christian, like you're just vibing with me the whole time. Like, just say it. Plaintiff, I can't. I promise you, I wish I could, but I can't unless I say that you guys requested me. Defendant Christian, yes, who can I talk to right now? Who can I talk to? I'm going to say I requested you right now. Plaintiff, well, you can take your hand off my ass for the first thing. Now, again, I don't know if there's more audio, why it's selective. Maybe these are just the most important parts and then it ends. But even so, these clips are hard to justify.
Look at other celeb kids who've been through it. Remember when Willow Smith shaved her head? That wasn't just a style choice. It was her way of taking control. And we all saw what happened with Lindsay Lohan trying to break free from her parents' grip. So what's really happening behind those gates at the Combs estate? That's the big question. There are rumors of pressure and sky-high expectations. It's like Diddy's shadow is so huge, his son can't find his own spotlight. That out of nowhere, Diddy's son posts something cryptic on social media, saying things like, "Sometimes the price of greatness is your soul." If that's not a cry for help, what is? And trust me, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are layers to this drama, and we're about to uncover them all.
But 50 is the wrong dude that you want to do that type of attention, get that kind of attention from, bro. And the infamous words of Waka Flocka, that nigga go hard in the paint. And I don't believe that this cat would even put out some trash like that and really didn't know what he was doing. He's teasing the federal government. And I told y'all, the Southern District of New York do not play. So King Kong just put another battery in their back. And you see after he did that shit, something get leaked to the press. Do you notice that, right? Soon as he did that dumb shit, talking about, well, we did this and we did that. We had this over here. Y'all went to the wrong house. Some went to, he said, well, we're going to show you how wrong we are. Yo, CNN, run this. Action, roll them. Don't play with the feds, bro. Because you got to realize this. They got a lot of time. All they got is time. Yo, they going to sit there, people sitting up there and they want something. See, people like a fix. They need that fix real quick. They want them to hurry up and charge Diddy with something or see what they got on him. The feds going to take their time. May take 6 months, may take a year, may take 2 years. They got up to 3 years to bring their case up. They got 3 years. So they checking everything about them. They're going to dot all the I's and cross all the T's.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people feel like he played a part in that video coming up. You know, him making a comment saying that, you know, they forgot to raid the house next door that his dad owned. Yeah, man, he was wilding out, man.
Yeah, I think he was just bullshitting. I don't believe he bought the house next door. Because let me just tell you something. If anything or any name that had to do with Bad Boy, the federal government going to run that. They know all the properties Diddy have. They wasn't even talking about the raid that they did in New York. But they did a raid in New York too.
Let's peel back another layer of this designer onion because things are getting intense. You know the saying, money can't buy happiness. Well, in Diddy's household, it might just be buying silence. What if the cost of being Diddy's heir is way higher than anyone imagined? You've seen Diddy flexing his one dad status. Those Instagram posts of family vacations, red carpets, and award speeches where he's the proud father. He's out here trying to be Father of the Year daily. Sure, the man's empire is massive, from Bad Boy Records to Kurak Vodka. But behind all those designer shades and million-dollar smiles, the whispers tell a different story.
Well, if it is clear as day, and that's not an automatic, that's not a given. Until we actually hear the audio, there are any number of ways to potentially attack this dialogue that's been portrayed here and that has been alleged to have taken place. The audio might not be clear. There might not be a bulletproof way of identifying who is doing the speaking and exactly what they're saying and so forth. And it gets all back to the question of authentication, where if this is played in court or even before it's played in court, somebody's going to have to identify what was the source of this information, who made the recording, who has kept it between the time it was made and the time it's played in court. How do we authenticate and how do we prove that the person who's alleged to be speaking is actually the person who is speaking? All of these kinds of things all have to be hashed out in court. At the end of the day, though, the jury, presuming, I believe there's a jury demand in this case, it's going to be a jury who sits and says, hey, we believe that these are the actual people that are alleged to be on this recording. We believe that this did actually take place. It's not AI. It's not any other kind of, manipulation. And taken within the totality of all the circumstances and the totality of the evidence, we think it's more likely than not that this actually took place, and therefore we're going to give a win to the plaintiff in this case, this woman who has brought the lawsuit. So it's not an automatic by any stretch of imagination, but if it can be authenticated,
it gets through that vetting. If this is real audio, not a good look for Christian in eyes.
No,
of the jury.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. If it passes the sniff test, then it's potentially very, very problematic. You're absolutely right.
And the rest of this case, we don't have as much evidence. It's going to be a he said, she said. But this type of damning audio, as Kim, you've said it before, in a civil case, right? It's only 51% need to agree. And I would imagine, Kim, your thoughts in reading this transcript now, because we've only seen sort of snippets through NBC, but in reading this transcript now, this is pretty hard to come back from if it's real, right?
Yes, I would agree. I mean, if the question is, was she touched without her consent? And, did she voice that she did not want to be touched in that manner? If this audio is authenticated, it's pretty clear that no, she did not want this interaction. This is SA, period.
Being a celebrity kid is tough enough, but when your dad is a legend like Diddy, the pressure is on another level. It's not just about carrying the family name, it's about outshining it. Imagine trying to make your mark when your dad's shadow is bigger than King Kong. Some say this is classic narcissistic parenting, where parents see their kids as extensions of themselves. Dr. Sherry Blake, a clinical psychologist who works with celebrity families, says these parents often try to live through their children. And in the spotlight, that pressure only gets worse. What's really got people talking are the rumors of a big blow-up between Diddy and his son. Word is, his son wanted to try something outside the family business, but Diddy wasn't having it. There were reports of shouting, threats to cut off money, everything. It's giving serious my way or the highway vibes, but when the highway's paved with gold, walking away isn't so easy.
Yeah, I ain't hear about that raid. I only heard about the, the LA and Miami raid. But you feel like the feds, they released that video over King Combs' comments.
Oh man, I've worked in law enforcement for 27 years, and I had the opportunity to see HIDA. It's a place, whereas they have the state, the feds, the NYPD, the Department of Corrections, and the state police. Yo, this place could be half of a basketball court. That's where they just got lines of computers with officers of all different people and officers just on the internet. Whoever's over that case, whoever's working that case, don't you know they saw that and took it to their boss? You might think it's petty, but it's not. You do not agitate a lion with a pork chop. And that's what that kid did, bro.
Some people feel like, Diddy, he played a part in that video coming out too. Him being spotted with Stevie J, smiling at the camera. A lot of people blame him too.
But bro, what did I tell you? He's such a narcissist that he has to be in the public. Yo, listen to me. They just caught him on TMZ today or yesterday or something like that, walking out and about. Now, I'm not telling the man what to do, what he couldn't do. I don't know if the government told he couldn't travel nowhere, he couldn't be nowhere and stuff like that. But why are you going to go outside your own compound where TMZ and every other place is waiting on you? You're not going to get any public sympathy. That's why he had that picture of him and his father around his neck. You're not going to get no sympathy. You're done. Stick a fork in it. Call it a quit. Apologize to Big's mother for putting her son in that position that he loses his life. It's crazy. He better do a Russell Simmons.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that, man. They saying that he gonna pull a Russell Simmons.
Well, anything's possible, bro, but I don't know if the feds will allow him since they got an open investigation on him.
If you think choosing between your dad's empire and your own dreams is tough, that's just the beginning. What happens when the perks of privilege come with anxiety, depression, and a spotlight that never goes away? The word on the street is that there's a whole other struggle going on here. You think growing up with a silver spoon means a life of luxury, right? But for these celeb kids, especially in the hip-hop world, it's more like living in a golden cage, with paparazzi flashes as your bars. Yeah, they have designer clothes and bank accounts most people can't even imagine. But at what cost? Let's be real. The mental health challenges these kids face are serious. They're trying to figure out who they are while the whole world watches and judges, just waiting for them to slip up. It's like being stuck in a reality show they never asked for.
4 of Combs' 7 children writing on Instagram, "We have seen so many hurtful and false rumors circulating about our parents, Kim Porter and Sean Combs' relationship, as well as about our mom's tragic passing, that we feel the need to speak out. Claims that our mom wrote a book are simply untrue. She did not, and anyone claiming to have a manuscript is misrepresenting themselves. A 60-page unverified book published earlier this month claimed to be the collection of diaries of Porter, who died at the age of 47 in 2018. The children, who don't mention their father's arrest in the statement, go on to write, "Our mother should be remembered for the beautiful, strong, kind, and loving woman she was. Her memory should not be tainted by horrific conspiracy theories." The message coming as another accuser goes public with allegations against Combs. Talia Graves claims in a civil lawsuit Combs and his bodyguard drugged, bound, and raped her in 2001 and filmed it.
It's a pain that reaches into your very core of who you are, and leaving emotional scars that may never fully heal.
The 54-year-old Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges he led a criminal conspiracy that abused women.
The stats don't lie. A study from the Journal of Child Psychology and Psychiatry found that celebrity kids are twice as likely to struggle with anxiety and depression compared to their non-famous peers. And don't even get started on substance abuse. Fame seems to come with mental health struggles, served on a silver platter. So how's all this affecting Diddy's son? The tea is hot. Word is, behind those designer shades, he's been battling some serious demons. Sources say his anxiety is so bad, it feels like he can't even breathe sometimes, and the depression. It's hitting harder than Diddy's beats in the 90s. But here's where things get even more intense. Rumor has it Diddy's son has been secretly seeking therapy, and whispers are circulating that rehab might even be on the table. We're not saying it's all true, but where there's smoke, there's usually a whole forest fire.
And Aaron Katursky joins me now with more on this. Aaron, how significant is it to have a new accuser making claims like this on camera as Diddy's facing these criminal charges?
Well, look, she is detailing in an anguished appearance with her attorney, Gloria Allred, what she said happened to her in 2001 and the lasting impact that she said it had on her, and coming after Sean Combs's arrest on criminal charges perhaps lends some additional credibility because he's already been charged in a racketeering conspiracy that sought out women for abuse.
She's also filed a civil suit. Could that affect the criminal case at all?
The civil suit is at least the 12th filed against Sean Diddy Combs, and the first one from last November by Cassie Ventura is really what touched off the criminal case that led to Diddy's arrest and subsequent not guilty plea on the 3 criminal counts. Without the civil suit, there are probably not criminal charges against Sean Combs, but all the civil cases are now likely to be paused while the criminal case takes priority.
Now, some of Combs's children issued this statement on Instagram, speaking out in defense of their mother, but they didn't really mention their father. What do you make of that?
It was an interesting statement coming a little more than a week after Combs's arrest here in New York. And the children seemed quite protective of Kim Porter's legacy because there's this 60-page unverified manuscript online that claims to be Kim Porter's diary entries or a compilation of some of her thoughts. And the children said that it just isn't true. And they didn't want her and her memory commingled with him and the criminal case that he's now facing.
And what's next in that case now?
He's back in court in early October. For now, he is being housed in protective custody at a federal jail in Brooklyn. He's in a dormitory-style open housing cell with Sam Bankman-Fried, among others.
That smoke could be coming from bridges about to burn. What would push the child of hip-hop royalty to cry for help? The answer might surprise you. We're digging into the golden handcuffs of fame, where breaking free could mean breaking down. Is Diddy's son about to make a move that could shake the whole industry? When your life's been scripted like a reality show, how do you start writing your own story? That's the million-dollar question Diddy's son is facing. It's like he's stuck in a music video he never signed up for, looking for the way out. But in a family as powerful as the Combs clan, walking away isn't that easy. The buzz is that Diddy's son might be trying to break free.
And it's really sad that, the whole situation of this, as you read through the entire lawsuit and you kind of see the environment, that she was placed in and how she was set up in this place where she was probably terrified to say anything. And the end of it all, based on the lawsuit, it does sound like she did lose her job. It impacted her personal life, her relationship, her family life, everything. She lost so much because of this incident, if all of this is to be true. So I really hope that if this all is true, that the audio can be authenticated, because I think it's going to be crucial in her case.
And just for full, so I want to go visit. Audio was recorded by Jones, allegedly. NBC News has heard 2 clips of audio transcribed in the suit, purportedly from the night, but has not verified who was recorded, which is important. As John said, again, we need to vet this. You don't need to go through that sort of legitimizing it. But there allegedly is audio that's claiming to be this. And it's interesting there, as I go back and read that, only 2. They only heard 2, and there are... I guess it is 2.
There are the 2.
It's 1 and then the longer one. Okay, got it. So there's only the 2. So they've heard it. This audio apparently exists. I would, Mr. Blackburn, share it more. What's going on? If you're giving it to one press outlet, give it to other press outlets, because if this is real, we need to get the word out. If it's not, why are you sharing it? Or, if it's private, why are you sharing it with certain outlets? I hope they do, so we can definitively figure out, is this real or not? Because I think it's important information to know. So Diddy's lawyers slammed this lawsuit against son, expected the same kind of manufactured lies. Youngest son, Christian, the lawyers behind slammed it. Again, they're going after Tyrone Blackburn. And I want to connect that because the last suit was kind of sloppy at times. Is that going to affect this? Do you think this one plays better because it's got the transcript and board? Or is there a version of this where this could be a shakedown by this Blackburn attorney who has had previous grievances? Does any of that come into play for you, John?
Well, I'm assuming that he's gotten a little bit sharper and a little bit smarter since he filed the case in New York, the Little Rod case. I mean, and that was a little unusual. All of a sudden, he's had to go back several times and file a complaint, then file a First Amendment complaint. First amended complaint, then a second amended complaint, which somewhere along the line there was one or more procedural problems where you typically have to ask the court for leave or permission to file an amended complaint. Apparently that was not done in the way that the court expected it to be done. Most courts have their federal rules of civil procedure, and then there are usually some local rules as well. Somehow he managed to run afoul of those rules in terms of asking the court to file an amended complaint and so forth. And the reason he was filing amended complaints, I mean, for instance, the first, I think it was the first amended complaint, had 72 pages, did not mention Cuba Gooding Jr., as I recall. Second amended complaint that he tried to file was up close to 100 pages, 90 or 100 pages, and all of a sudden it did include Cuba Gooding Jr. And you got to ask yourself, well, why? How did Cuba Gooding Jr. get left out of the original complaint and the First Amendment complaint? How did someone that important to the case not get included the first time you went through the exercise? It just is a little bit of a question that. There might be, for all I know, there might be a perfectly legitimate reason, but at the same time, it's a little bit odd.
Yeah. But, speaking of odd and speaking of Cuba Gooding Jr. again, here's that portion I found of according to plaintiff, defendant Combs chartered a yacht, witnessed several A-listers on board, including rappers Redacted, as well as Redacted and Cuba Gooding Jr. And then they go on to talk about how unpleasant he was. And then if you go down to the little footnotes, they're like giving little clues and Easter eggs as to who the redacted people are. A Philadelphia rapper, a third. Anyway, it's all very strange to me. So there is still a little bit of a messiness to this lawsuit, you would say, it seems, as we were going through this. The real meat of this is clearly that
rebelling against your parents is tough enough. But when your dad has more connections than anyone and deeper pockets than the Mariana Trench, it's a whole different game. We're talking potential lawsuits and getting cut off faster than you can say, bad boy for life. Not to mention the risk of being blacklisted in the industry. It's like a David versus Goliath situation, but Goliath has a platinum record and a vodka brand.
In this audio that CNN has listened to, you can specifically hear the accuser who alleges that she was being forced to take this tequila shot that she believed was laced with drugs. And in the audio, you can hear her asking Christian Combs if she was being drugged, and he answers, "Take the shot." Now, just to put things into perspective, the accuser was a crew member on the yacht. She was a bartender, and she says that shortly after this incident with the shot, she says she was cornered in a room. She says things became aggressive and physical, and then says that Christian Combs forced himself on her, and then says that it wasn't until another employee on the yacht came into this room that the abuse that she is alleging in this 31-page lawsuit stopped. And she says it only stopped because that person came into the room. Now, I want to read part of what the accuser's attorney is saying right now. What he's saying is, defendant Sean Combs turned what was sold as a wholesome family excursion into a hedonistic environment. It resulted in an unexpected increase in workload for her and for her colleagues, as well as unwanted exposure to unlawful drug use, sex work, and general chaos. Now, why are they naming Diddy in all of this? And it is partially because he was leasing that yacht. Now, he is not accused of sexual assault, but he is accused in this lawsuit of liability and aiding and abetting because he was the one renting the yacht. Now, his attorney, or actually the attorney for both men, also speaking out and denying these allegations, saying this complaint is filled with manufactured lies and irrelevant facts. We will be filing a motion to dismiss this outrageous claim. Again, they have continued to say that this is something that they will fight, that they are innocent in all of this. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out in court, if it gets to court or if it gets settled at some point, which has been the case with a previous lawsuit. But again, we'll have to wait and see what happens as Diddy and his son continue to say they're innocent, and the victims here continue to say that they were sexually assaulted, Fred.
And so while music mogul Combs isn't accused of sexual assault in the lawsuit, he has been accused of a range of sexual misconduct in other separate lawsuits. How might that play into this?
Yeah, as I mentioned, one of the lawsuits was settled, but there are others that are currently pending, right? And so there's a lot of the details that we've learned, and attorneys say that there's audio and video of these alleged crimes, or at least some of the alleged crimes. You're seeing some of those cases there. The one with Cassie was the one that was settled, but there are other ones that we'll still have to wait and see how they play out. And of course, we all saw just last month as Diddy's homes in both Miami and Los Angeles were the target of a federal investigation, and we saw that all play out on video last month. But again, it's important to point out that Diddy continues to say that he is innocent. They said this was a gross overuse of military level force, and they say that he is innocent and will continue to fight to defend his name.
One of my friends who was actually in the studio with him said that Homeland Security brought him in, and this dude is he's a fraternity brother of mine, but he's also a producer, an engineer, and he was in the studio the night one of the girls made a complaint. The night something happened to one of the girls, and he told the lawyer everything that the girl told him, which was crazy. And Homeland Security brought him in. So he told them they wouldn't let him know what they were doing, but it seemed like that something might happen before Labor Day.
Wow, before Labor Day?
Yeah. They working hard on this, bruh. They working hard. You got to realize they working with a lot of stuff. They working with the taxes. They got lawyers for the taxes. They got lawyers for the complaints for the what you call that? SA sexual assault complaints. They got lawyers for what else? The drugs, the gun trafficking. They got different lawyers working on all those things, bro. And they got witnesses.
If you don't mind me asking, what was the girl saying to the lawyers?
Oh, the girl has said that that same shit that happened to little Chris, he gave him a bottle of champagne or wine or whatever like that. And once she drank it, she became a certain way and found herself giving him a fellatio in the studio in front of people. The dude said he walked out because he was appalled. He had just had a daughter. So he walked out. So he was appalled. That's what he told me. So I'm like, damn, team. He said, yeah. So the same thing that she told her lawyer, he told the lawyer and Homeland Security. And he was actually there, graduate, a college graduate. You understand? Working, good dude, perfect witness. He told, the engineer told Homeland Security and her lawyer the same exact thing she told them. He said he was appalled at what he saw and walked out. So they got witnesses. They got witnesses, bruh. They have people want to make up stuff, but they got people who was there that was witness and speaking about it. See, people get mad because I'm saying it first. They hearing it from me. But I could care less how somebody else feel or think. I'm not here to praise Diddy. No, I'm not. Like Brutus told the sentence, I'm here to bury him. He did enough wrong for people around us, to people around us. He did enough wrong to their mother. He did enough wrong to them. He need to pay the piper. I don't care what nobody say. You can feel whatever you want to feel. You can call Gene Deal whatever you want to call Gene Deal. You can say whatever you want to say. But I came here November the 18th, 2018, and I told y'all from Jump Street, I didn't know I was going to get a platform like Art of Dialogue. I didn't know I was going to get a platform like MREC, different people who helped me build this up. Did I have my own show? Everybody want to come here and think that I just talk about Diddy. You come to the Gene Deal show, you see different things. I talk about everything. But when I'm come to do an interview, I answer the questions. And my thing of it right here is this, is that I'm not here to praise somebody. A real man don't hold or bite his tongue for nobody when injustice has been done to people, first of all, that he got love for. And second of all, for when somebody know that somebody is wrong. I've been saying the same shit since 97, Mighty. I was the one in there holding Big's mom's hand while she crying. These people come over here, I initiated a lot of this stuff for these YouTubers to go to their platforms and talk about stuff because they sit around and talk about stuff that I didn't say, that they didn't heard on the Art of Dialogue. You didn't birthed a lot of these fucking content creators.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about that. I mean, a lot of platforms, did start talking about it after, we've been talking about it for years. So, yeah, you're right about that.
And they were scared at first, Mighty. They were scared to say anything.
But my thing is this, right? With all the money and fame that Diddy has, why is he out here drugging females to get fellatio? You would think, him being who he is, he don't got to do that.
Bruh, he's a different dude from when I was around him and people was like Suge even said that Puff is different now. You understand? When he went to California, man, that's a whole nother stuff, man. Dudes in New York wouldn't even, he probably was doing a little of that stuff right there in New York around people and things like that, but he knew who to do that around. You understand what I'm saying? He knew who to do shit like that around. And when you don't have no conversation, he said it before, he don't know how to talk to women. He don't have no conversation for Jennifer Lopez. I seen him I was there when they had conversations. She would say some fly shit to him. You know what the perfect day would be with me and you just sitting out here, you know, eating, just sitting out here, having a light lunch, drinking some wine, and just talking and talking and talking. She would say stuff like that to him. You know what I'm saying? And this nigga be looking like he's stuck on stupid. So I've seen him have conversations. He would say to Wolf and them, yo, man, I don't know how to talk to girls. But when you got that kind of money, you shouldn't have to know how to talk to girls.